Hey everyone, it's Michael here with GoodyReader.com, and today we're looking at the shopping experience on the Kobo and the Barnes and Noble Nook e-readers. We're not comparing the hardware or anything like that, like other videos that we did. We're primarily looking at the number one reason why you would purchase either of these readers is to buy ebooks. Now, both of these companies offer more than just ebooks. They have comics and graphic novels as well. So you could read like manga, you could read graphic novels like comic books and things like that, and it's all optimized for the e-ink screen, so you're not having to have something like that's so small that you have to pinch and zoom every frame. They have like comic readers that isolate specific frames and such. And one thing that Barnes and Noble has that Kobo doesn't is that they actually have magazines and newspapers. So not only do they have like mainstream publications, but they actually have college newspapers as well for a lot of the big colleges in the United States. So that's one of the things that kind of really separates these two devices. Primarily because Barnes & Noble is only available in the States, so most of their content is optimized for the US, whereas with Kobo they are an international company, so they do have more content that's easily accessible for people who live in a lot of different countries. E.g., I live in Canada, so Kobo is a little bit more relevant to me because most of the stuff is optimized for, like, say, the Canadian market. Okay, so here's the main UI. As you can see, both of these companies do something very similar. They fit and condense everything on one particular screen. So you're not having to scroll up. Everything is sort of here. So with Barnes & Noble, you can click here and you can get different things, essentials for middle graders, political rights, things like that. Barnes & Noble has sort of tabs at the top, where you can look at particular things. Newsstand, romance, teens, probably the most prolific and the most sold ebooks out there. I mean, romance, when it comes to ebooks, they outsell everything else by a large scale. You have personalized recommendations here based on your purchases that you made from the Kobo library. So you can click here and you get like scrolling type of stuff. Let's just click on a random book. Okay, so both of these companies again fit everything on like one screen. So this is the last time I'll mention it, but this is like what they do. So with Barnes & Noble, they have arrows up and down. So editorial reviews, there isn't any for here, but there are user reviews. So with the Kobo, they also have tabs here. I think it's a little bit more intuitive right here. Rather than to scroll up and down, you're just clicking tabs. And the tab positioning is the same, and it doesn't matter what book that you're actually reading. You could download free previews, and the books are sent right to your library. So I click free sample, save preview. So one thing that I like that they do, again, similar, is I can immediately start reading the preview by clicking this button. Whereas with Amazon Kindle, for example, you actually have to exit the store interface and go to your library. So this is very much intuitive to be able to download a sample and immediately start like reading it. So that's something that I think that both of these companies do rather well. Now, if you want to go back, you have to click X. With Barnes & Noble, you're just clicking back. So I like the clicking back more because it feels like a web browser. Like when you're using like a web browser and you're clicking back to go from one page to the page prior. I think people kind of enjoy that because it's very reminiscent of a web browser, whereas with the X, you're just simply Xing out. You can click here and get top picks, categories, related reads, so you can find out what's more popular on the Kobo ecosystem. So one thing I like about Nook is that unlike the Kobo, is it's pretty easy to find out like recommendations. And popular ones, they change on a revolving basis. Edge of your seat reading, Harry Potter and Friends, Assassination and Hitman. With Kobo, they do have also a thing. You just click view all stuff that's recommended for you. But there isn't a lot of stuff like editorial type stuff, like Kobo setting up like different editorial stuff based on like the theme or the type of the year, whether it's Christmas or Halloween and so on. So I would probably have to give ebook discovery and ease of use to Barnes and Noble. So this has just been a preview of the shopping experiences that you can expect on both of these e-readers. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop a comment below. Let us know what you think. And for Good Reader, my name is Michael, and everyone take care.